One of the most awkward interviews of my career, one of the weirdest interviews of my career, looks a little bit better scoring for myself and Ray Ratto because he was part of it too. And I'm, of course, talking about the Deebo Samuel interview that I did on the radio last season. When I brought up an underachieving year, Ray and I got 3 or 4 no comments from Deebo Samuel. It really was one of the odder interviews of my entire career. I'm not a try to, get you with that question type of an interviewer. I don't think I've ever had that reputation. 49er fanboys, though, were calling me out left and right saying that I don't know anything about the game and I don't know anything about Deebo, and I got accused of being a white boy. Ouch. Worse yet, I got accused of asking gotcha questions when I was just talking about what seemed to be an underachieving year that might be explained going back to the odd offseason of Deebo Samuel when there were trade rumors and he wanted to be traded and he said, get rid of me and I don't want to be here anymore, and all that stuff before circling back and what Michael Irvin told us about the weird communication that Deebo and the team were going through at the time. Months after this weird and awkward interview, Deebo Samuel finally comes clean and admits that he was heavily distracted by the offseason issues that I brought up and got no commented through. He did indeed come into camp out of shape, and he was classifying last season himself as awful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm not crazy. I wasn't taking crazy pills. I wasn't seeing something to create my own narrative. I thought I saw an underachieving year from a spectacular player, and when I asked him about it, I was the asshole. Well, it turns out after a little thinking, he thinks that could have gone a lot better. What do you know? What do you know? He said yesterday, and I paraphrase, kind of quoting here, just going through the tape with Kyle, looked sluggish. And I was like, look how bad you look on tape. Like I said, what happened last offseason kind of played a big role in that. I'm never putting nothing on tape like that again. Okay. Good. I mean, do I feel a little vindicated? A touch. Does Ray Ratto feel a little vindicated? He probably doesn't care. Probably doesn't even follow this story. Doesn't care. But I'll tell you this. Niners fans, if you really do have an angry with himself Deebo Samuel, a motivated Deebo sounds like a real dangerous football player to me. Woo! I like the self-awareness that he eventually has returned to here. He didn't have much self-awareness in that interview or didn't want to share any of it at that time, but he really came clean. And I like a self-aware athlete. A couple of home and homes ago with Larry Krueger, I said, I think Deebo Samuel's a really good player, but he might be a little bit of a shit leader. And even though he's a good on-field leader in terms of setting the tone for that locker room, I don't know if he's the guy you want doing it. Christian McCaffrey seems to be the guy you want doing that. Deebo is showing more self-awareness now. And that's going to help close the gap in what I thought was maybe a leadership deficit. I mean, I was the first one to the talking point all last year that this team's best wide receiver is Brandon Ayuk. And it feels like Deebo now realizes that too. So chalk one up for Uncle Damon. He got another one right. Again, they're going to tell you you're wrong in the moment, but the truth always wins out. The truth always wins out. And I feel good about today. How are you doing? How you feeling good? I hope you're feeling good today. I really do. A tiny little sip of coffee, and let's keep going with a bit more news from Niners mandatory workouts. The Athletic reporting that Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Trent Williams, who had been absent from the voluntary OTAs, were there. None of them were practicing. They were off doing individual drills on the side. Sam Darnold took the first team snaps. Trey, he ran the second team, with Brandon Allen handling third team duties. Today, apparently, we're getting a swap where Trey Lance will be handling first-team duties. Sam Darnold will be with the second team. And again, for those declaring that a quarterback competition has already been decided, this is clear indication that it hasn't been, right? I mean, they are working all three guys now to the very best of their ability until Brock Purdy comes on back, and then he's the first-team quarterback anyway. As I've said, everyone needs to stop with their breathless analysis of OTAs and let this thing play itself out. We are nowhere near the start of this coming football season. There's a lot that can happen between now and then, so everyone take a breath.